Welcome to the morning show. I'm your host, Al. This morning, we're going to be talking Horse of the Year. Eclipse Award winners for 2023 will be announced on January 25th. That's a day under 3 weeks from today. And that's going to be on a Thursday night. Horse of the Year. Will Cody's Wish win Horse of the Year despite White Abarrio being the best horse in 2023? Some people might disagree with that, but we're going to take a look at that right here, right now. But first, coffee. Beautiful. 8 o'clock coffee, original blend. Cody's Wish has a fantastic story behind him. Named after Cody Dorman, a young man who was born with a serious disability. And he formed a bond with this horse, Cody's Wish. But Cody's Wish went on to have a very successful career. And he, with a pinnacle winning the Breeders' Cup dirt mile in 2023. And he accumulated the most points as far as the standings, the horse standings for the year. Did finish 21 points ahead of White Abarrio. So you have the sentimental story. He wins the Breeders' Cup Mile. And we're going to bring him up right here to talk a little bit more about him so you can see for yourself here. I'm going to bring up Cody's Wish. Talk about some of his accolades for the year of 2023. Okay, he won 4 of 5 races. He won he won 3 G1 events and a G2 event. And he finished third in a G3 event, the Whitney Stakes. Now, 2 of the 3 G1 events that he won were at 7 furlongs at sprint. And the other one was at a mile. So he wins 4 of 5. For the year, we'll go by year here. For 2023, statistically, he did earn just under $1.8 million with a 4 for 5 campaign. Godolphin is the owner and the breeder of Cody's Wish. So 1.8 million. We'll round him up, about 1.8 million. 4 of 5, 3 G1s, 2 of them at 7 furlong sprinting, and 1 at a mile right there. Okay. And he did try a 2-turn race. I'm going to go back to his results for a second. A G1, the Whitney Stakes, and he finished third in that event, going 2 turns. And you have the story, the great storyline, Cody Dorman. Now the horse, Cody Dorman, he was there. They were showing him on TV the whole time during Breeders' Cup Saturday, and he was there. The kid, now 18, and gets to see Cody's Wish, this horse that kind of was an inspiration for him. No one expected him to live to 18. He was there. He got to see Cody's Wish win the Breeders' Cup. Beautiful, beautiful story. You cannot deny that. Tugs at the heartstrings of everyone everywhere. Okay, so you got a nice story there with Cody's Wish. Very, very, very good horse. Puts up some nice numbers. Is that enough? He finished on top in the point standings for 2023. Let's take a look at White Abarrio, his main competition here. And let's draw a comparison. Okay, we're going to share it right here. Okay, this is White Abarrio. His running line. Now, White Abarrio last year, his big moment was winning uh, the biggest horse race in America, the Breeders' Cup Classic last year. All the best horses in the country, and really everywhere, racing in the Breeders' Cup Classic. They come in for this race. Wins the Breeders' Cup Classic. Let me go to his earnings for a second. We're going to go to his earnings. For the year 2023, his accolades, he won the Whitney Stakes at Saratoga, and he crushed Cody's Wish in that race when they went head-to-head going 2 turns. And now he did lose in the Metropolitan Handicap, finishing 3rd to Cody's Wish at Belmont Park on June 10th. So some might say, well, they split their 2 races, but those 2 races equally. And we'll make note, if you watch the start and you look at the trip notes, Cody's Wish stumbled out of the gate. Now, he did recover. He got off to a bad start and still managed to come in 3rd place in that race. And he was starting to make up some ground at the end. So you take the stumble away and you stretch it out. A horse stumbling at the start, you know that takes something out of them. How many times do you see them stumble and come back? You don't see too many. Anyway, he finished 3rd and Cody's Wish did win that mile race at Belmont, but when they faced each other at 2 turns in the prestigious Whitney Stakes, G1, he destroyed Cody's Wish. He did register a 121 equibase figure in that race. And Cody's Wish he came in 3rd and finished with a 106 equibase, 15 points lower than White Abarrio when they squared off at 2 turns. And then, of course, White Abarrio wins the biggest race in the year in America, the Breeders' Cup Classic, facing all the best horses. Now we're going to look at this. We're going to just look at the earnings here for the year. Statistics, White Abarrio more than doubled Cody's Wish in earnings for the year, finishing just under $4 million. Beat Cody's Wish hands down. And what I do want to do is bring this up for a second. Considering that Cody's Wish has won 2 of his 3 G1s were sprinting at 7 furlongs and 1 was a mile. I'm trying to think back. Has a sprinter ever won Horse of the Year? I did a search on that. Yeah, they have an award specifically for top sprinter. I think maybe they'd want to consider more based on what took place this year. Maybe Cody's Wish award him as the top sprinter of the year, because he did win those big 7 furlong races, including the Breeders' Cup. No, the Breeders' Cup was a mile, but the 2 others were sprinters. But by the speed figures and by this prestigious size of the races, the 2-turn races, White Abarrio appears to be hands down the fastest horse. Not only the fastest, but he won the biggest race, and he also won the Whitney. And he finished the year with a record. Let me bring him up again, White Abarrio. Results. Okay, he won 2 G1s. Cody's Wish won 3 G1s. And he finished 3rd in the Met Handicap when he stumbled and recovered, but That pretty much took him off his game. So we'll give him a mulligan for that one. And he did compete in the Pegasus World Cup, and he finished 8th there. But since this one went into Rick Dutrow's barn, he's really exploded. And with Equibase numbers in the last two of 118 and 121, which Cody's Wish doesn't. He did have, I think, one race at 116 in that Met Mile, but he doesn't come close to the 121, and he's 118. 2 turns at 2 turns, he was 106. So significantly slower going 2 turns. So at what point at the Breeders' Cup, I would think that race should carry a heck of a lot of weight. I mean, in the past it has, and you're going against the best horses, right? As far as going 2 turns, and that's the sign of a real champion here. And Cody's Wish, 2 of those G1s were at 7 furlongs sprinting. And the other one was at a mile. And the one time they faced each other in 2 turns, White Abarrio destroyed Cody's Wish. Then again, Cody's Wish, to his defense, in the point system, he does lead White Abarrio by 21 points. But do you want to point to that and say, yeah, the point system, that should determine the horse of the year, when the other horse finished close in the point system and won the much bigger races, including destroying Cody's Wish in the Whitney? I think this is going to be a tough vote of the year. The sides seem to be split. And then you have some voters. What are they going to do? Are they going to go with the sentimental story from some of these articles I've read? Some of the voters said, if it was another year, I would vote White Abarrio. But with the storyline and everything else, sometimes you just have to make an exception. Is that fair? Make an exception on a very big award here, where accomplishments should mean a lot. If not for the story of Cody Dorman, I think this might be a slam dunk for White Abarrio, 2023 Horse of the Year. And you got to wonder, Rick Dutro, White Abarrio really took off since Rick Dutro, who has served a 10-year suspension, came back in May and transformed White Abarrio to the next echelon, next level, a higher level, since he joined his barn. But Rick Dutro, there's still some people out there that hold grudges against him and not vote for White Abarrio because of Dutro. I don't know. It's just something to keep in mind. He served 10 years for cheating or juicing, and so that might hurt White Abarrio's chances some. But there are some Dutro supporters and fans out there too who think he shouldn't have had to serve so many years. The guy is a tremendous winning trainer. So that's going to be a factor. Will that come into play? The Dutro factor, the Cody Dorman factor. Do you hold this stuff, either use those factors as a measuring stick, or do you use strictly the horse as the storyline, not the trainer, not the ownership, not a dying young man, 18 years old. Now, here's the other thing that tugs at the heartstrings for Cody's Wish. Cody Dorman, the day after Cody's Wish wins the Breeders' Cup Mile, Cody Dorman passes away. So now they're like, oh my God, how can you not vote for Cody's Wish as Horse of the Year? A lot to consider. And again, the Breeders' Cup, the Eclipse Awards, all the awards, horse racing awards, will be on January 25th. That's 3 weeks from now, on a Thursday night. So that should be very exciting. And I can't wait to see how they vote. I expect suspect they're going to go with the sentimental story, despite White Abarrio being really, when you get right down to it, the best horse in 2023, won the biggest races, and won the biggest race, earned the most money by light years ahead of Cody's Wish, destroyed Cody's Wish at the Whitney. I think the award's, I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, I think it's kind of close. I think the sentiment will win out despite, for Cody's Wish, will win out here. I don't think it's fair. I think they should take all the storylines away from the horse. The people, Cody Dorman, for example, his story, the Dutro story, the suspension, take him out of the mix. The point system, take that out of the mix. Look at who really accomplished the most as far as big races go, with the pinnacle being the Breeders' Cup Classic. Who do I think deserves the Horse of the Year award for 2023? No doubt in my mind, White Abarrio, best horse in 2023. Who do I think wins the award? I think it's going to be Cody's Wish. Now, I wouldn't bet on it because I think the vote is going to be closer than people think. What do you think? Cast your vote down below in the comment area and give us a reason why. I want to thank everyone for watching. Horse of the Year coming up. Let's see what happens.